limits, liberal, irreverent, oh, and really, really gay.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me here on Off Limits tonight on Gay Mass Show. I appreciate those of you listening tonight, taking the time out to listen to the show. Sorry about that. I had an issue yet again trying to get things started. For some reason, the other method would not pick up my mic. The method in which I use to take phone calls would not pick up my mic. So I'll be doing the show the regular way tonight. And I can't take calls, which sucks because I was going to take calls tonight and let people answer a trivia question, a gay trivia question, and if they did, they'd win a t-shirt. But unfortunately, I can't take phone calls this way, so we'll just be having the talk show tonight. I hope that's okay. Next time I'll do that, and you can actually win an off-limit show t-shirt. So be sure to listen in for that. Anyway, so thanks for joining me here on the show. Want to say hi to David in the chat room. I think Nikki was there earlier. Thank you guys for listening as well. David's birthday today was today, and hey, Nikki, and David's birthday was today, and he turned 39. Excuse me, years old, and so we celebrated that on his show today on the 5x5, which was on Blog Talk Radio today, and I think he'll be uploading that later tonight or tomorrow for Spreaker as well. And so we had fun on his show talking about his day today. So happy birthday to David, my fellow co-host here on Spreaker and Blog Talk Radio. So anyway, several things to talk about tonight that I had to talk about kind of piling up over the past week or two. It's been a while since I've done a gay mass show. I've been doing some music shows, acoustic mass shows, which I call those, because I wanted to play 90s music. And I did two shows actually of 90s music, 5 hours shows each. Both shows were 5 hours each. And I still only touched the tip of the iceberg of my 90s music. That's how much 90s music I have in my collection. I would need to do 3 more shows to play an additional 15 hours of 90s only music in order to play it all. And that's just selections, not every single song from every album. That's just selections, the best ones. So I'm not going to be doing that anytime soon. Maybe later on another acoustic mass show. But I wanted to make sure I had a gay mass show. I usually have the Monday mornings like this. I say Sunday night, but Monday mornings. And we talk about gay topics, gay issues, topics, gay pop culture, etc. On the gay mass shows. And so everyone, of course, is welcome, gay or straight or whatever in between. You're welcome to the show. I just like to talk about gay stuff on this show. So one of the things we were talking about it on David's show earlier. We were talking about actually penises earlier. We just happened to come up because we had a disagreement about flaccid versus erect penises and being able to judge a person's erect penis size by the state of the flaccid penis. And everybody knows that there are penises, or peni, if you want to call them those, that are in the flaccid state that are not all showers. And then there are guys who are, which people call growers, and there are guys who are showers, who are longer penises when they're actually not erect. And so I just try to tell him on the show that you can't tell by the state of a man's flaccid penis how large it is erect. I have seen and experienced penises in my life, and I've experienced plenty, that actually were small flaccid and grew to be quite large. very large, actually. I'm talking like 10 inches, okay? And then I've seen small penises that didn't grow very much at all. And they were like 3 or 4 inch. I mean, really small. So you never can tell. And I've seen growers. And the thing about growers is showers are showing their penis when it's flaccid. It shows, in kind of a showy state. So it's more ample in its flaccid state. But the thing about showers is they typically don't grow that much more than their flaccid state. So I prefer to see, I prefer penises that show, length or whatever when they're hard or flaccid, because it's more sexually attractive, I think. But it doesn't really matter as long as when it's erect, it's a good size or decent size. I don't really care if it's shower or a grower. But I was looking that up earlier, and it says that where is it? Oh crap! Somehow I got to the wrong page on that one. I had pulled up here. I think this is it right here. Here it is. Yeah. So penis size. It says one of the more comprehensive studies of multiple sources of data on penile size is summarized in an article published by the Department of Urology at Cornell Medical College. And it says that the average length of a flaccid penis is between 3.4 and 3.7 inches. That's flaccid when it's not hard. And then an average length of an erect penis is between 5.1 and 5.7 inches, which means I'm doing very, very, very well. And then, because that's small for me in my book. And then there is an average circumference, which is around the shaft of the penis, of an erect penis is between 3.5 and 3.9 inches. So, as I've said before, I'm very blessed in that department. And I've always said I'm black below the waist. I got that part of my dad's DNA, I think. So I'm happy there. And so I'm very well. I could have been a porn star basically, but I'm not, and not going to be. But I'm just saying. So I did very well in that department. But I think so when I see penises, then they say the average length of a penis is actually 3.4 inches. That's fine, flaccid, but when it's saying erect, it's only 5 inches is the average. That seems really small to me. And even judging by the men I've been with throughout my years, being sexually active since I was 14 years old, I have most of the guys I've been with have been much larger than 5 inches hard. So, and that's not to say there's anything wrong with guys who are that small or whatever, especially if they're a bottom, it doesn't really matter as much. But for me, a hard penis, to me is attractive, and it's a turn on just because I'm gay, right? Hello. So, to me, it's, the bigger, the better. I like big penises. I think that's a good, I think it's a good thing to be bigger. The bigger, the better when it comes to penises in my book. Now, I know women, on the other hand, I was talking to some of my friends who are women, and they were asking them, if they preferred big penises or small penises or whatever. And they said they don't like the big penises because they hurt. And so I asked them, I said, well, how deep is your vagina? And I was looking it up. I looked it up eventually. And it's like they say the average length of a vagina is 4 to 6 inches. So if an average length of a vagina is 4 to 6 inches and a man is 10 inches long, then that's got to really, not feel good. I don't know. I have to ask the women out there. I don't know if Nikki's around. Nikki may be embarrassed by this conversation. But anyway, whoever's in the chat room. I'm not sure if a bigger one is better or worse in terms of length. Now, I know in girth, in terms of the circumference around the penis, generally it seems that is something that's definitely more welcome for women, especially, and for men too, actually, if you're gay, I think to some degree, because I think because it pushes up against the walls of the vagina. Not to say that there's some loose woman, obviously, that they can't feel it. I'm just saying generally the thicker I think it is left and right, circumference rise, the more that they feel the pressure against their vagina. That's what I would assume, and I think that's what I've read before. So for me personally, I like one that's long and wide. I like a long, big, big penis is a good thing to me. I think a thick penis, for me, I certainly do not like a thin penis. Whether it's long or short, I do not like a thin penis. A penis has no girth or anything, just like a pencil or something. Those hurt, basically. It's like being jabbed. It's like being jabbed with a pencil, basically, if they have one that thin. It just feels bony or whatever, No, I like them to have some girth on them, some meat on them. So anyway, that's my discussion about penises tonight. I just wanted to talk about the whole grower thing. Oh, and then I was going to say about that, there was more in the study. It says, for example, several studies show that some men have a flaccid penis that is about the length of an erect penis, but when erect, gains little or no length, while other men have a short, flaccid penis, but gain about twice its length when erect. Slang descriptions for a penis are numerous. So for a longer, flaccid penis, slang describe it as a shower, while one that is short but increases length markedly when erect is termed a grower. But many are a combination of both. Consequently, the shower may make the grower feel inadequate, but both types usually will produce a somewhat similar sized erection, and so growers should not feel inadequate. However, in some men, increased body fat, hormonal problems, certain surgeries, and disease may decrease penis size. So that was an interesting thing to discuss. That's what they're saying in the chat room. David says he's always had the bigger member and has been with several men. Darlene Nikki says it's all about how you work it. She prefers a longer, thinner penis, not the, I guess she's going to say thicker. Yeah, so that's interesting. So I don't know. And, also I think, I read that for women anyway, that the length of their vagina, whatever, have shorter vaginas, and therefore the men evolved to have generally shorter, not all of them, shorter penises. Now, I'm not talking about all over England. I'm just talking about generally, because they're generally more petite, skinnier women, and they have shorter vaginas, and so the men have sometimes shorter penises there, but thicker. Now, I've seen many, many English men who have very big penises, but I'm just saying, this is just a philosophy. Whereas a lot of African American women have deeper vaginas because they typically have larger hips and they have larger cavity walls or whatever, and so the vaginas are deeper, and therefore the men evolved to have longer, thicker penises for that reason as well. So that's why a lot of people have different, in terms of the genetics and the evolution, have different types of penises because of how it was made for the partner they were going to have sex with, evolutionarily wise or whatever. I can't say that word, but evolutionarily, I guess that's even a word. So that's why people have their different, penises. You can't hear anything? Can you hear me? Hello? Can you still hear me? Hello? You said you couldn't hear me in the chat room. Can you still hear me talking or not? Uh-oh. Can you hear me? Oh, okay. All right. So you said you couldn't hear me. So anyway, I guess my voice was going in and out. Is this better? I don't know if I wasn't talking in the microphone enough. Anyway, so the other thing that study talked about was about since we're talking about penises, is about the fact that I wanted to talk about penis shape and also circumcision versus non-circumcision. So when it comes to penis shape, it says in the study that most penises are boomerang shaped, meaning they're more boomerang shaped than straight. And so some penises are just very board straight, very, very straight all the way down, or at least appear to be that way. And others are more like a banana shaped type of a thing. And so, so for me, I don't really care. But honestly, the truth is, if you're a gay man, it's better if they're curved just up just a little bit. And the reason is because if you're a gay man, because of the location of the prostate, if it's curved up and you are the receiving partner on your back, then it hits. It's more likely to hit the prostate better than if it's just straight and goes straight in, or curves down or to the side or something. So it's for if you're a gay guy, it's better that way, and you have more pleasure for the bottom if you're a gay guy. If you're a straight woman and you're receiving a penis, I don't know what that's like, or if it means what it means, if it's better or not, if it's straight or not. But I've seen penises that are straight as a board. I've seen penises that curve up. I've seen penises that curve down. I've seen penises that go to the left or the right. Going to the left or the right is painful. I would not imagine that most people would prefer that. But up and down and straight, that's all right with me. It's good to go. So yeah, there's definitely different types of shapes of penises. And also, if you find a penis that's really, really extremely curved, typically that means that somehow or sometime in their history, it was injured. Because if you were injured before you hit puberty or something, during the growth period or whatever, it leaves scar tissue. Like if you were kicked in your penis or something, and it scarred it, and it leaves scar tissue, then that makes, when it grows, it makes it grow up or down or left to the right. And that's why you'll see some penises like that. So anyway, and then the last thing I wanted to talk about in terms of penises was circumcision versus non-circumcision. And